us to be blown away. That's what you're doing. You're saying there's a death squad, that we've got a death squad. What do you think that's going to do to monkeys on the street that don't think too well? They're going to think, well, we're going to blow some people away. So naturally, they're going to hit us first, right? Use your common sense. You're setting us up. You news people are setting us up. So fine. So when I'm dead, you, and you that have been printing all this stuff, that we've got death squads, because you never printed our side of it. You set us up. So put that on your conscience. You got it. I don't want to hear that anymore, brother.
Is the temple over as People's Temple?
No.
How old are you, Hugh?
It's Jean Brown. I've been a member of People's Temple for 7 years. And what's happened in Guyana, I've been to Jonestown myself twice. What happened in Guyana is a terrible tragedy, and I don't condone violence, and I don't believe any of us do. But neither in our minds does that cancel out the 30 years of total and selfless dedication that Jim Jiones has given to people to bring us together, as he did, of all races, all possible economic and social backgrounds, into a body of people.
But Guyanese people, Amerindian,
right.
East Indians that came there that needed service. Jim Jiones saw fit that a young man, a little boy that didn't even belong to us, that had a cataract on his eye. Yeah, I know you're bored because you don't have to deal with it, sir. I don't like the way you're looking at me. You got a funky attitude. I wish you'd have to have people come to you every day and ask for help, but you don't, see. All you make your report and be on. I'm talking to you.
And
yes,
you're shrugging
brother.
your shoulders. You don't have any love.
Your citizens who.
Remember that. Put that in your report also, okay, sir?
What about the reports of a large amount of cash and securities at the Jonestown colony?
You mean in Guyana?
Uh-huh.
Gold
Okay.
in this way.
Let me answer that, and let me answer it. I didn't know how much was there.
Why would 400 people follow him?
How can I comment on that? I'm not there. I'm at that time.
Place it. Sure, we need to get every dime we can, because we were taking people, not just our people. We paid for it with our money, destroyed $1,000 worth of money, especially when we got a
Credibility. You said that the People's Temple, that Jim Jiones was nonviolent. Apparently, it is not. You said that there was a conspiracy by the government to get at Jim Jiones, and apparently the conspiracy was by Jim Jiones to make sure that no one found out what was going on inside. You said that people were free to come and go, and apparently they were not. Does that harm your credibility?
Well, let's take one thing at a time. If a person has been nonviolent for years and years and his entire action has been that, wouldn't you have the right to assume that that person the guest house? We could hear sporadic statements being made that were loud enough occasionally that would come over the PA system. It was not on PA, so that we could not get the benefit of it as far away as we were. We could hear things: to die for the revolutionary suicide is to live forever. And they would talk about, let's not be divisive. This is not the time to be divisive. And certain statements like Tim Stone is not the only agent, the wrongdoer amongst us. And it went on in that tone. And as we were leaving, and we were probably about 200 yards away, we heard the voice of Jim Jiones saying, "Mother, mother, mother, mother." What the significance of that was, I've discussed it with some of the temple members here today. I thought it was that his mother was buried there about a year ago. She was a beautiful woman, a poet, a writer. She died of emphysema. She was very, very sick. She couldn't breathe. I thought, and she's buried there in Jonestown. I thought he was referring to that. Some of the temple members here said the reference to mother is to Mother Marcy Jones, his wife. And that's the last that I remember until Sunday night. Mark and I got out of the jungle where when we thought it would be safe to get on the road, and we got to the port.
Are any of the people here contemplating the same thing?
I would say, with as much force as I can say it, that no one here is contemplating suicide. I have some of them here. I invited all of them to come here if they wished. They're not the least bit interested in it. They are in a state of shock. They are in bewilderment. A few minutes ago, one of them gave me some information that Don Sly was here in the United States, and it was in the custody of the FBI. Hold it before you start writing. I called Chief Gain, Charlie Gain, whom I've been in contact with since I've been here today. It's the second time I've talked to him today. And I asked him about it. He said, it seems inconceivable, but let me check. And he called me back in about 5 minutes, and he said, no, that's not true. I cannot imagine that Don Sly would be here. I'm satisfied that the people here in the temple are just bewildered. Most of you have heard or read what Stephen Jones has said about the entire affair. And I believe that is shared predominantly by the people who were there.
Are they disgusted with Jim Jones right now, what he did, the people inside the headquarters here?
The people here inside of the headquarters did not know what had happened until I related to them what I've been relating to you. And they're in a state of shock, and they don't know what to say and what to think. You understand that these men and women here have been dedicated, and they've been dedicated to the cause of socialism, to a better way of life, and this comes to them as a complete shock and a surprise.
But to get it clear, they are against what happened.
They're totally in the habit of making accusations unless I can support it with some form of overnight.
Advice to him that in fact the arms that were found there used were purchased. I
said to him when they were shooting at him in Guyana.
No, I'm talking about this past June of 1978. Did you not say to a newspaper reporter here in California that it was you who encouraged Jim Jones to purchase? I'm talking to Mr.
Gary.
Charles Gary. Did you not encourage Jim Jones to purchase weapons?
I told him to get weapons for self-defense so that could not be repeated again. He did not tell me that he'd ever obtained those weapons.
Jim
Jones' son. Again, please? So that what would not be repeated again?
What?
You encouraged him to get those weapons so it would not be repeated again.
The attack on him would not be repeated again. As a matter of fact, 2 months ago, when we were there with Joseph Mazer, private.
That it's obvious that when someone
assets of the temple is whatever it may be, we propose, if it's legally possible, to divide all of the assets with all of the people involved.
Gary, do you hold title to the church's property right now? Do you hold title to the church's property right now? Yes, sir.
I don't think so.
Who does?
Do you hold any important church papers right now?
I don't know what the question is. I don't understand.
Did Mr. Jones give you any important papers regarding the church?
No, he did not.
Mr. Gary,
what do you think about reports that there have been...
well, one at a time.
What do you think about reports? There's been several reports.
Check the record.
Is there any accurate account of the people who were down in Guyana?
What?
An accurate account of the
person or organization may have directed us to do.
I don't know.
Do you have any suspicions?
You know, I could sit around and speculate all kinds of theories, but I wouldn't be the trial lawyer that I am if I used that as a method of ascertaining facts.
Mr. Gary, who does hold the title to the People's Temple? Do you know?
Probably the corporation does.
Corporation does?
The People's Temple is a corporation, and it's not owned by any single individual. As far as I know, Jim Jones himself owned no property.
That's right.
And owned no clothes, owned no automobiles, no home.
And he's not in the process of building a $9 million church neither. Nor does he have an allotment like Captain Kuhlman had. He never kept money like that.
Not. You mean that he was discussing it with me that he should have mass suicide?
That has been mentioned, sir, yes.
Well, I am very unalterably opposed to suicide of any kind, much less mass suicide. In the first place, if I had my way about it, I would not have even recommended him going to Guyana. I would have had him build the kind of a community he built right here in the ghettos of America. But that's not my decision. They made the decision to go to a socialist land and have a socialist commune. And they were living in I came back the first time. When you start feeding 1,200 people and bringing in new equipment, bringing in a new city, you're building a new city.
Medical equipment.
I want to go back to Jonestown.
Charles, Mark, do you have any information about that? Have you heard anything about that?
I have no information on that. I don't want to be making conjectural and speculative answers. Mark Lane can do